All right, all right, all right. You boys are tapped in already? I was waiting a sec to see who's coming in here, but you boys are tapped in already, so I figure let's get the show on the road. Shit, you boys are tapped in already. Let's go. Let me know who's in here right now. Let me know who's in here. Man. All right, so let me give this a quick little breakdown. How do I say this? So Francis Ngannou, he spoke on why he didn't attend PFL Africa. In my opinion, he spoke on something even more interesting, which is the fatal motorcycle accident involving a young woman. So, I mean, we're gonna go ahead and discuss this one first, but we are gonna get into the young woman topic as well. Um, was Dana White right about Francis? It's looking like it. It's looking like it. It's looking like Francis pays no mind to the business side and only pays attention to his personal wants and desires. That'll all play out in this video right here. It's a 44-minute long interview. In my opinion, this is some of Ariel Helwani's best work. I feel like his whole career almost culminated to this moment. This may be, I mean, granted, PFL isn't that important, but the questions he asked were top notch. He didn't miss a beat on any questions that he asked. Then he moves into the motorcycle accident and gives him an opportunity to speak on it. He does. So in my opinion, and that's what this was all about. Really what I'm getting to is that this whole interview too was all about talking about that girl and how she lost her life. Um and I think this interview is basically history at this point because of Francis discussing it here. Probably the only time he'll ever discuss it. So I'm pretty critical on Ariel, but I will say, man, some of his best work, this interview right here. Francis tries to give a lot of crap points, and Ariel just sticks to the script of asking the questions. So I guess, and then we're also gonna talk about Brian Battle. I think if I got some time, because Brian Battle's over here, sorry as a motherfucker, trying to figure out. I think he wants to basically get cut from the UFC. This man is the definition of sip your own Kool-Aid, and he basically admits it in the Ariel interview. But let's go ahead and get this Francis interview started. And if, again, all the boys who are in here, let me know you're in here. All right.
I wasn't very okay with the first PFL Africa event seeming to be like an undercard. I hope PFL Africa debut would have at least have his glory, his moment.
Can't wait to speak to our next guest. It has been a minute, as they say, since we last spoke to him. The last time we spoke to Francis Ngannou was last October, right after his big win over Renan Ferreira. So it's been quite some time. Appreciate his time, as always. Good to catch up with the lineal, undisputed heavyweight champion, the man himself, the pride of Cameroon, Francis Ngannou. Hello, Francis, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Aria. I'm good, and you?
Long time no speak.
Yes, very long time.
It's good to talk to you. How's everything going? How's life?
Life is good. I just keep it a little low right now.
You're staying low. You're out of the limelight.
Yeah, just trying to chill, take a break out of everything.
Any particular reason?
No, just feel like, just feel like.
Innovative new mattresses are coming out all the time.
And you'll find all the latest trends at Sit and Sleep.
Bruh, no, this is not a pre-recorded live. How would it be a pre-recorded live? It's literally a live. How could it be pre-recorded? Do you think I answered your question, so there we go. It's not pre-recorded. Hold up. So in my opinion, the way this starts off, Ariel's almost hinting at that girl incident as far as, Francis laying low, but hey, it is what it is. If you're asking, is this a pre-recorded interview with Ariel and Francis? This was recorded yesterday.
No, I don't hear anything.
You don't hear feedback. Frank, do you hear that?
I do. It sounds like he has his phone on or something other than the laptop he's on.
Is there another thing on, a phone? Because I hear myself twice. Do you know? Is there a phone on also?
No, nothing is on.
Okay.
I think it's on your side.
Yeah, I think it's on. What should we do, Frank? Because I don't want to. I don't want it to.
Let's reconnect with him.
Do you want to reconnect?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we're gonna reconnect real quick, Francis. Okay. Okay, we're gonna reconnect real quick. And in a matter of seconds, reconnect with him real quick. Michael Venom Page, Tim Elliott, about everything happening not only in his career but the world of the heavyweight division. Obviously, the John Jones stuff came up. PFL stuff has come up. The last time we saw him was in October of this past year. Got back on track with the big Joshua, and if you could believe it, October of 2023 was when he shocked the world and went the distance and even dropped the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. What a 2-year stretch it has been. I mean, honestly, even since prior to that. Okay, so do I hear Francis? You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay.
What up, Randy?
So you said you were laying low, all good. Obviously, part of the reason why we connected very recently, we stay in contact, was your name came up recently because PFL finally unveiled PFL Africa, which was a big thing in what you were doing with them and when you came over. First, did you see those events? They've had 2 now, I believe. And if so, what did you think of them?
Well, they have 2 now, and it's been going very good. And basically, the second one, I think I was more for the second one. But obviously, I also saw the Don coming, and I think that's your point. That's where you're going to. But the PFL Africa was good. The business part of it is good.
Okay, so for those that may not know what I'm referring to, this is the Don Davis quote. We have it here because I think it's important to get it right. Someone asked him about you not being at the events, and he said, "I'm not going to hide it. I expected him. This is part of his vision. We worked for 2 years. I'm direct and say what I think. I'm disappointed. Disappointed in you not being at the first 2 events." A lot of people, I guess, thought that you would be there because it was a big thing, and clearly he thought. What is your reaction and response to this?
Well, first, as far as my reaction, I was like, I don't think it was something that he should have bring it out there, right? I mean, at least if it was me, I wouldn't keep it out there. Now, because he get in the position that we have to bring up context, like why didn't I come there? He didn't know why I didn't come, I mean, I've been waiting this for 2 years, and this was the big part of it. So when you're working on something, like when you guys are still working on something, unless you think you have it's off, it's not the thing that you bring it outside, I wasn't okay with something, but it wasn't the thing, I wasn't the one that was going to take it out. For example, like, if you want to know what exactly is the reason why I wasn't there, I wasn't very okay with the first PFL Africa event seeming to be like an undercard. Quoting him, we work a lot for that, for the PFL Africa, but I hope PFL Africa debut would have at least have his glory, his moment. But that wasn't my decision, and
It's just worth noting, and I almost feel bad just like picking this guy apart off the bat, but it's like, dude, if you're going to be disingenuous, it's forcing my hand to say this. Everything he's saying about this first PFL Africa event, it wasn't the main event. The main PFL Africa event, I know that it was PFL Africa 1, but the main PFL Africa event was the second one. And, spoiler alert, he didn't like the first PFL Africa event because Johnny Eblen was the main event. That's what they're going to get into in a minute. But then on the second one, You know, it was an African main event. It was an all African card. So all of his demands were essentially met. That he's kind of saying the reason why he didn't go to the first one, well, all those demands and reasons why he didn't go to the first one were there for the second one, and he still didn't show up. So I'm just saying, like, make of that what you will, but he's kind of saying, like, I wasn't okay with the first event being like an undercard, so to speak, which is odd because the undercard was really the second event that wasn't headlined by Johnny Eblen. Nonetheless, he's saying, like, I wasn't happy with how that first one was going, so then I also just didn't show up to the second one too. Like, the second one was the main one. And Randy, we're going to get into it, but I'm having a hard time saying this real quick, but I'm just trying to tell you, the second one was the main one. That's where you have gripes, right? That's where you would have gripes with the main PFL Africa event. Obviously, the Friday show is the Friday show, but the Saturday show is the primetime event. They don't even hold events on Saturday. So the fact that they did it for they met Francis's demands for the real PFL Africa event, it doesn't really make sense to me.
I wasn't down for it, but I expressed my feeling to them.
So in other words, what you're saying is that first PFL Africa card, I remember it was in mid-July, and the main event was Johnny Eblen versus Costello Van Steenis, Dakota Decheva. Those aren't, part of the PFL Africa movement that you're starting with them, and you wanted it to just be about the African fighters, right?
Exactly, because this is what it's about. You work about something for 2 years, you expect this glorious moment, and then I couldn't explain. If I have been there, I couldn't explain. It looks like I was in the very bad position to explain how PFL Africa that I've been talking of has become an undercard. So on that perspective,
I just have to say it one more time. It's so odd to me that he calls the Johnny Eblen main event an undercard. Like, what are you talking about? The Johnny Eblen event was like that. I mean, calling that an undercard, right? And then saying all your demands that you wanted, right? You want Africans in the main event, you want Africans to be showcased on the card. All that shit happened in the second one, and that event wasn't as hyped up. It didn't go anywhere. Everybody was hyped up on that Johnny Eblen finish in Africa. So what you want, it's like that was actually the lesser show because they're all no names, but that's what you want. You want the show with all no names. It's also going to come out in this interview that Francis just has a vision. See, Francis just follows his vision. All this stuff that I'm saying right now, it doesn't make sense, right? Well, that's because Francis follows a vision. He doesn't follow what the business needs. He has a vision, and he says, fuck the business, essentially. I have a vision. So that's why, he says what he says, and it doesn't even make sense. Your vision is a fucking low-ass... Your vision is an undercard, bro. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Your vision is an undercard. Your vision looks like an undercard. Not the one with Johnny Eblen and Costello on there that resulted in a huge upset.
I'm not facing this. So that was the main reason. So, and then what's funny is that I have seen some people talking about it, but they didn't even realize that August 9 was the second event. They thought it was the first event was the second event.
Did you share this with them? Did you talk?
He's trying to say that to make his point, nobody knew that Johnny Eblen versus Costello took place in Africa. Be real. Let's all be real here. Nobody thought the second event was the first event because Johnny Eblen and Costello's finish was like breaking news headline all across all of MMA. That was huge for the PFL promotion for Costello to get that finish and get that publicity on that event. So again, he has I don't know where Francis gets some of this stuff, But like, I don't know if he's lying or if he really means what he says or who he's talking to. But I mean, that's completely inaccurate that everybody thought the second one was the first one. But I guess that's to hype up his point. Again, brother, that second one was the undercard. The first one was the main one. You got it twisted.
To them about it, did you tell them this is not what your vision was?
Yes, of course. I mean, we talk about things that we talk about, like a vision. Because we put a lot of accent about like what is the vision, what we want to do, you know. And then every time I will be on the phone with Pete and Jim. Whoosh, again, I don't think those are the people. Those were the people that have the full story, because they've been following up. Like Pete, I talk with Pete maybe 2-3 times a week about only just about PFL Africa, right? So, but as far as done, we don't talk too much. We never really. Pete is always the guy that is in between us. So, which I think even from his perspective, he wouldn't have said something like that from where we were at. We were like, okay, I don't agree with this. How can we make this work? We are working on it. Like, how can we make it look to align our vision together? Because it's a matter of a vision. You know, for me, it's a vision. For me, it's not a business. Even though they are doing a great business out of it, but again, I focus on the vision of the DNA part of it. You know, to be like a PFL Africa.
Imagine working with a guy like this. That's really all I got to say about it. Like, imagine working with a guy like this. Like, you're trying to run a business, right? You've given this guy everything that goes against your business in the first place. He's getting paid money that the business doesn't even generate. And it's like, you're still... dude, imagine doing business with this guy. He's trying to fulfill a vision, and then they're trying to say, like, yeah, but we got a business to run, bro. Like, we got a business to run at the end of the day. And then he's like, no, but I got a vision. Like, I don't care about business. It's just like, what the hell? I think his stubbornness worked out for boxing. If I'm keeping it a buck, I think the stubbornness worked out for boxing. But the same flaw that he has of ignoring his business partner's best interest for himself every time, over and over again, I think that's fundamentally, like, that fundamental has been there since he had the fallout with Dana White. You know? Like, that is a fundamentally wrong thing with Francis's mindset of how he approaches his career. But he got away with it, and he still thinks it works. And here he is now trying to execute the same kind of vision again, because he thinks his vision works because it did work with the whole Dana White thing, you know, in a roundabout way. But I think he got lucky with that, you know. Here he is again, letting his visions steer the ship, and Don Davis isn't happy. Not that we really give a fuck about Don Davis's happiness, but just like take Don Davis out of it. Trying to make money and being in business with this guy do not go hand in hand. This guy's gonna burn all your fucking money, but his vision will be fulfilled.
Not just be like another representation of a PFL in Africa, but to be a local organization.
As far as the construction of the card and the people on the card from the PFL Africa only perspective, how involved were you in the people who were signed, the people who were fighting, the matchups? Were you involved in any of that?
I wasn't involved on the matchup a lot. I know that Eduardo was the guy, was the.
Now, I will say this. It's not a big criticism, but I just want to put it out there. Bro wasn't even involved in matchmaking, and he has all this to say about matchmaking. You know, and you're the chairman as well. So I get that, like, you as the chairman, you know, you're in a position of power, I guess, towards the matchmakers. But you know, you had nothing to do with the matchmaking. So I don't know why you got so much to say about it. Like, as the chairman, here's what the chairman should do. They should support the event. They should put their face out there so that more people can come. They should repost it, share it, and all that stuff, right? All that kind of thing. You're the chairman. You use your name to promote the event. You're there. You are the representative. So you definitely should have been there. Regardless if you agreed with the card or not. It doesn't even necessarily matter if you agreed with the matchups. You should have been there, bro. You're the chairman. You make it look good. You show up there and act like there's nothing wrong.
Person that was in charge of like fighter, I talk after in a meeting. I give my advice because even the event that I do in Cameroon, we have some talent. The event that I do with my foundation, the challenge. So we have some fighter that I recommended, different fighter. Even this guy, I think what was his name? Ankara from Burkina Faso was the guy that fought at my event, and I saw him. I mean, he did lose, but I was impressed with his skills. So I say, okay, there's some guy you can look up to. So, but other than that, I wasn't so much into it.
The second event was much more a PFL Africa event, I would say, but you weren't at that one either. How come?
Well, matter of circumstances, and again, we were still working on it because let me remember this. This is not the first. This is not the only event. PFL Africa is something that is going to run. Is made to be run forever. So as we take the time that it takes to set things up right, then the company he will run properly. So I don't have any problem with that. I don't have any problem going as long as, we get things right and feel comfortable because I'm going there, stepping forward, put myself in line as a guarantee. So at least I'm going to make sure for what I'm saying, for what I'm going to stand by what I'm saying, which is what sometimes some clarification need to be made.
I mean, does anyone know what he just said there? Please drop a comment if anyone knows what he really just said there. I mean, I can't even restate what he said because it makes no sense in my mind. Like because he just basically left it open-ended. He's like, well, because if I'm going to go, I'm going to be showing my face and all this stuff. I guess he's saying if I'm going to go and show my face and be the chairman, do my job. If I'm going to go do my job, then like you guys have to basically make me happy. And the odd thing is that, yeah, the second event they met all your demands, bro. I just said that. They met all your demands. What the fuck else were you complaining about then? But he's basically saying, I didn't go because I'm sticking to my guns. I'm still pissed off that the first one didn't go the way I wanted it to. Like, it's crazy. I almost don't believe him. I feel like he's lying. Like, he's got a different reason, but he's just making this up.
Did you watch the events?
Yes, I watched some of them.
Did you like what you saw from the PFL Africa fighters?
I do enjoy them. I like some good talent, some raw talent as well that need to be sharpened, but that have skills to develop. So it was quite exciting, and also have like kids from the foundation fighting there. We have two guys from that started in the foundation, my foundation fighting there.
Yes, the name of the what is the name of the foundation? Did you do an event in March in
Hold up, I'm gonna go get some water, but I'm gonna keep this interview playing real quick, okay?
Cameroon with the foundation?
I did. The name is the Francis Ngannou Foundation, but we named the event like Challenge. Fighting.com.
Yes, there it is. And so can I ask, after Don said those things, did you reach out to him or anyone in the PFL to tell them that you didn't appreciate?
Yeah, sure. I reached out to P right away. I text, and then we've been talking, trying to make things work, and that's why again I thought it wasn't something that shouldn't bring public, because we are working on it. And then we're looking forward to make a great thing with PFL Africa. Remember, again, it's not just like it's not like a one-off event. It's not two-off event. It's a forever event. So we set things up right. It's going to be okay.
Have you talked to Don?
No, really.
Do you want to?
No, I never initiate the intention of. I don't know. I just find it a little weird, and then wasn't like quite in the excited to talk to Don about it, like about that comment.
Was there any talk prior to all of this of you fighting on one of these first cards?
Me fighting there?
Yeah, was there any talk, since you're the face of it all?
No. He has never been a plan.
Would you have wanted that?
You have to understand that PFL Africa is a young company. And then as much as we want it to be big, to become big, is not yet at that point. He's young. We didn't give him the time. Yeah, I had liked to fight in. If it's PFL Africa, yes. But where we are at, it's really difficult to get to that point.
Is there a third event planned?
Yes, there is a third event planned, which I think will be in Benin.
Which month?
Again, I don't have. I think October. October was still what I last heard. It was October, okay. Unless he had finished this October.
Would you like to be there?
The semi-final.
Would you like to be there?
Well, I'd like to be even in the first event. If by then we get everything straight up, no problem. I'm excited about this. Remember, I'm the one initiating this. So, yes.
As a result of all of this, Francis, how would you describe your relationship with the PFL right now?
Well, so far I would say we have a good relationship. We have a two business together. One is PFL Africa, and then one is me as a fighter, and PFL as a promoter. But again, everything doesn't always run smooth. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like, okay, this is not working. This, just work like, oh, I don't agree with this. I think it should be like this, and somebody give his own point of view. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out, and then I think this is how it all works. But
I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to be rude, and I hear Francis saying sometimes you just share a point of view. No, dude, no. Honestly, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't really. Sometimes it's just like, dude, I didn't ask you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta run this fucking event the way I gotta run it. Like, I didn't ask you. I'm already giving you the event, right? You're already the chairman. I'm already giving your opponents guaranteed millions. Like, but then he comes in here and he's just so innocently gonna say, like, I just share my opinion, like, and they have their thing, and I just share my opinion, and things just have to. No, dude, like, that's the problem. Stop sharing your opinion. Just fight, man. Like, you've gotten enough shit already. Honestly, you've gotten enough stuff. You fought Tyson Fury. You fought Anthony Joshua. You came in the PFL. Like I said, you got guarantees for your fucking opponents. You got the PFL Africa event. They literally made a super heavyweight belt just for you in the PFL. Like, that didn't even exist. That was just for you. And then here you are saying, like, I just still need to share my opinion, and it needs to be valued. It needs to be validated. Like, no, bro, we didn't ask you. Like, you feel me? Like, we didn't fucking ask you for it.
Personally, I don't think we are in that point that you could say, "Oh, we have a bad relationship." No, we have a good relationship. We we are just working things out and have a. Also, we also have.
Bro, I hate to keep pausing it, but it's like, I'm gonna say this real quick. Francis, that's what you think, bro. That's what you think. These guys are pissed at you. They have spent hand over fist on you, and they haven't recouped shit. I'm just saying, bro, like, they're irritated as fuck with you. It's not like you guys are on good terms. They feel like they've got a shit end of the deal.
To understand that the problem here is not even there's not even a problem. I think the situation here is because of a culture different, and then which they are struggling to understand the African culture aspect of things, you know, and I have to make sure that is being considered.
Maybe someone could help me here. I'm honestly not exactly sure if he's talking about PFL execs aren't in tune with African culture, with his African culture, like being like how he is as a person, as an African man, I guess, or if he's saying like the event didn't cover African culture. But dude, get off your high horse. That first event was the first event. The second one, it seems like they met all your demands. So what are you talking about with the African culture? That's leading me to think that you're talking about yourself. Like, maybe you're talking about like you're African, so you have a different mindset because you're from Cameroon, which makes sense. And then these execs are from America. They're businessmen and they have their own mindsets. But dude, like, if you're doing business with American men in America, getting paid American dollars, then don't bring in your African like culture to like these negotiations. It's only going to confuse things. Like, you need to learn how to operate business on an American level. That's where you're doing business with American dollars. Like, same way, if we went to Africa to do business, it would behoove me to learn African culture to do business there. But like Francis, it would behoove him to actually understand the opposite of what he's saying. It would behoove him to understand American culture more, so that you could do business with these American men, because there's clearly a disconnect with maybe your principles or something that aren't willing to budge. I don't know. And I don't even know if that's what he's saying, but if that is what he's saying, then that's crazy. And then if he's saying that about the event, like I keep telling you guys, they met his demands in the second one. Oh my god, it wasn't the first one. It was the second one. Okay, they met the demands. So I don't understand how you could be talking about that.
So I think that's what is getting us here. So because without that, the relation wouldn't be like qualified as great relationship. Yeah.
Well, I guess he's not talking about his own personal African culture or his Africanness. He's talking about the events. And I already said it a million times. I'm not going to say it again. But he's wrong about the events and being in a bad situation with PFL because they didn't honor his shit when they did.
Your last fight for them was in October. Has there been any serious talk this year of you fighting for them?
No. I'm started to reach out, send some email for fight, and see if what's on the line. But since there's nothing yet, I don't think they have opening for me. So we will wait. We still have time, and meanwhile, trying to still try on the Deontay Wilder fight.
So you have one fight left on the deal, right? With them?
Yes.
And is there a term attached to that?
Life is good, I just a one-off event. I had like to fight in. So because without that, we wouldn't be there.
These are the facts. Switch to total.
My bad. I didn't mean to. I meant to pause it and not fucking hit the back button. I don't know. This scene right here, this is why I wanted to pause it. Look at him just sitting there, like talking about Deontay Wilder. Like, what the hell have we come to? Like, look at him sitting there. It's just, is it me or is that an image? Look at him sitting there in his lonesome. I mean, shit, I'm sitting here in my lonesome, but I'm just saying, bro. It's just an image to be had. Like, I just see him in there in that frame, name dropping Deontay Wilder. You haven't fought in PFL in about a year. We're 2 months removed. It's been 10 months. And here you are talking about Deontay Wilder. Like, we still want to see you in boxing. Like, you're a professional boxer. He's going to go on in this interview and say that he feels more comfortable in MMA anyway, but he just wants to go. So it's just crazy to me. Like, he literally says in this interview, I feel more comfortable in MMA for sure. That's my wheelhouse. But here he is, prioritizing a Deontay Wilder fight next. It's just an image, man. Look at him sitting there. No Markel Martin. That's his old manager that he got rid of.
With them?
Yes.
And is there a term attached to that? Meaning, like, it's either one fight or X amount of years?
No. I mean, yeah, there's a time limit on the term, but which is fine, which is still fine. We good.
Is it far away?
Well, all what you have to know is that we are good.
Okay.
Nobody's going to tell you guys this, but I'll tell it to you. Time limit on the contract, right? It's fights or a term. So days, every day that goes by is 1 day less on Francis's current PFL contract, and he'll eventually get out of it. It'll expire. And here he is killing time with the Deontay Wilder fight. He clearly doesn't want to fight in the PFL again. I mean, he's basically saying it. And again, good work by Ariel. He's asking all these questions. That's what Ariel's thinking. He's like, damn, so you want to fight Deontay? You done one fight in PFL in like 3 years. And like, I think your contract's probably going to expire by the end of this year or some shit. And look at him smiling there. Ariel asked the good question. When does it expire? Great question. It would have been very telling.
You did mention the Deontay Wilder fight, though. That's very interesting. He won in June. Is that something that you are actively pursuing right now?
Yes, I do.
Is there any talks between you and his camp?
We haven't engaged personally, but it's gonna be soon.
Soon that you'll talk to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are still setting some things up, but I keep training. I'm training.
Would that be your top choice right now? In if you had a top choice in any sport, like number one fight is Deontay Wilder in a boxing match?
I would say so. Since the Jun fight is off, I cannot be part of it.
What does that mean when you say you cannot be part of it?
No.
Just imagine going to the Dude, it's like, imagine going to the PFL and just calling out everybody but PFL fighters. Deontay Wilder, yeah, well, I want to fight Deontay Wilder because I can't fight John Jones. Bro, of course you can't. You're in the PFL.
I don't say I cannot be part of it. I say it cannot be part of my top choice.
Got it. Okay, of the ones that are available.
Yes.
Then don't mention his name.
What did you make of all of that a month or so ago when all of that was happening with him in the UFC and then he eventually retired, and then Dana White was asked about you at the press conference in Baku, and he said, Francis...
This might be it as far as this whole topic goes. Let me just see here. I guess there's timestamps. John Jones super fight. Tragic motorcycle accident. Okay, so I guess we'll get into the motorcycle accident now. That is all that there is for Francis here. I guess shout out to all the boys watching. Like the stream. Get us up to 10 likes if possible. That would be amazing. And yeah, we're going to get into this topic right now. Shout out to all the boys watching. Here's the motorcycle accident.
The champion of the squad is still quite.
I would be remiss if I don't ask you about the accident from a few months ago. because I don't think you've talked about that. Can I ask you about your side of the story? I know you put out a statement, but not much else. Obviously a very tragic thing. Can I ask what happened back in April?
Man, what's happened back in April was just a nightmare. You know, I did my thing all day long, and then around 7, I left the driver out and go to the basement, take a motorcycle. We're driving and was going by my mom's place, and I get to this. It was like on the boulevard, and I saw this girl trying to cross the street, but I noticed that she didn't look because I saw her, and it was like a three-lane side of road. But I noticed that she didn't see. So what I do, I want to go behind her because she was walking fast. But problem is that last minute she turned around and she saw me, and she freeze there. She was like this, and a few seconds, so I hit her with the left side of my motorcycle because I was almost past, and I was like 300 yards away from a police station. Then, and I didn't even fall off the motorcycle, but she fell. So I'm like, should I go report this? But she's laying on the floor. So I pack my motorcycle, go there, carry her, put her in the taxi, and then follow her to the hospital. We get in the hospital. I took her outside. She has a knee, a tibia fracture.
TBI fracture, traumatic brain injury. And then he uses the word fracture. So like fractured skull. Like, I don't know, but if it's a traumatic brain injury and then you use the word fracture, I mean, the brain is, the only thing that can get fractured is like a skull. I already listened to this and I did space out just slightly during it, but I do think that he said it already, so I'm going to just acknowledge it. He says that the girl crossed the street, he didn't slow down, and instead he just tried to go around her. He says that she didn't look, but I don't know, he tried to go around her. I guess maybe he was going so fast he couldn't stop. I really don't know. And I'm not going to try to guess, but I just want to point it out to you guys, like, I guess ask the question, like, should he have stopped or tried to? Apparently this girl just, like, walked out without even looking. Do you think a girl would cross the street without even looking? When he's in eye shot of her? I'm not going to say much. I really am going to try not to, but I just have to say some things, and I just want to say her not looking is a little bit convenient for him, you know? Also, the fact that they're next to the police station, and I do realize you want to choose to get her help, but the taxi and stuff like that, so I just got to piece this together. There can't just be a taxi on scene. Like, you had to call a taxi or something. Why didn't you call an ambulance? Then the taxi drives her there. There's no medical care in that entire drive. Her vitals could have been getting checked during that time. If something was up, they could have saved her in the ambulance. But instead, he uses the word taxi. He says there's a police station. He didn't go report it. Understandably so. I would just assume that you would call 911 an ambulance and have them come immediately, and you don't move from the scene. But picking up a girl who suffered a TBI, you're going to pick her up and her head falls and shit like that and it's fractured, bro.
But I took her out of the car and she was aware now and in pain, so which was a good sign. I took her to the emergency room. They reassure me everything is good. But I still stay there for like 2 hours, and then until like people come. We even call them, they even send like an extra doctor to supervise everything. So, I mean, I left. I was reassured that everything was good. I mean, not good because she's hurt, but I'm like, oh, it wasn't the worst. It could have been worse than this. And every day they were telling me, I was having the follow up, like, oh, she's good, she's this, because the same night her family came there, and she was good for the next 2 days, and they were prepping her surgery until the surgery. Uh, she went for the surgery and never wake up, and just like that. And I'm like, how come? Like, what happened? Because when I get to the hospital, I requested two things right away. I said, please, can you do a scan to verify if she doesn't have like internal bleeding? And then because like at that moment, I don't know if you remember, but he was like almost exactly 10 days away from the 1 year anniversary of Kobe. And what I did find out is that Kobe had like a brain issue, and that when we went to the hospital, they do the scan, but not the MRI. The MRI could have detect what he had. So on this girl, then I'm like, please do the brain MRI. So I'm sure that everything is being taken care of. I have a follow up every day. We don't have any concern about internal bleeding. We don't have any concern about like brain, like a concussion or something. Then like, I think.
I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure if you have a traumatic brain injury, that directly coincides with a concussion. Directly. In fact, that's all it could probably be. If you do get concussed, it's probably like, yeah, that's a TBI. Assault. Like if somebody punches you right and you get a concussion on the street, I feel like that's a TBI. At least in the court of law. But he says she had no concussion. Yet she got hit by a motorcycle. He clearly wants to check her head. Guys, then we're going to find out that she had to have a surgery, right? That's what he just said. So she doesn't have a concussion, but she needed to undergo surgery.
This was the third day already. Yeah, third day after the surgery, they was like, it's over. I'm like, how come it's over? What's over? What do you mean like it's over? That was it. Like from the fracture. That was it. So now, couple of sleepless nights, dealing with all this, thinking of what you could have done or should have done. What would you have done to avoid that? Yeah, it's really a bad feeling. Basically on that day, really, really bad things. But yeah, we reach out, we let Copper Day, like, because we were in touch and their family was there, and they knew that I was part of the accident. So we reached out and started talk. I mean, I talked to the family, and obviously they were grieving, but that was pretty comprehensive. They say, okay, we know that he happened, he's an accident, but we saw how you fight for our daughter. We saw all the assistant that was there. So I mean, they thank me for assisting them. Like somebody would have would have run, but you didn't. We knew, we heard about everything that happened. But again, that might help a little bit, but not too much, basically, at that moment.
All right. What up, Prime? What up, homeboy? So, man, I feel like I'm just picking apart Francis here. That's not my intention. It's not what I want to do. I don't want to be insensitive to this situation. I don't want to say that it's all his fault because I really don't know what happened, you know. But I'm just trying to pick things apart, and I feel like I haven't told a lie yet. Now this isn't gonna be any statement, but this is just a question to you guys. I mean, clearly, right? He says that she lost her life because of the surgery, right? Obviously, if he never hit her, she would have never had to undergo a surgery. So where do we put the blame? Do we put the blame in him? Or do we put the blame in the doctors for ultimately her losing her life? You know, because she was suffering clearly to the point where she needed to undergo an operation. And so the doctors did what they could do with what they had. And unfortunately, she did lose her life. You know, she's probably going through a lot, the anesthesia and all this stuff. It just, she wasn't strong enough or something to make it through. It's a very traumatic thing to go through a surgery in its own right. A brain surgery. I feel like he puts a lot of blame on the doctors. He's like, she was fine, but she needed a brain surgery. It's not computing to me. It's not adding up. Look at his hair. I mean, I'm just now noticing this, right? But I mean, look at Francis a little bit. He's clearly like going through it. Like he doesn't even have any swag on his hair anymore. Remember when he first off, he did get a hair transplant, so clearly his hair matters to him. But like he doesn't have the naps anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like it's almost like picked out at the top. But in the past, you know what I'm saying? He was like getting the naps going on the top, like kind of like Kevin Holland style. If you guys remember when Jeff Neal had the nap. So I'm just saying a little bit, like Francis is going through, you can tell by his hairstyle. It's kind of I feel like it's a bit of a tell. So regardless of what he says, I feel like his conscience isn't clear, right? Obviously, right? But
I appreciate the backstory and you telling us about it. And I'm so sorry that this happened. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to the family. I'm sorry that she lost her life. Do you have any sort of understanding as to what happened? Was it something that happened as they were prepping for the surgery or something that happened as a result of the break? Like, how does it happen a few days later?
Listen, I personally have no evidence to prove what happened, but something definitely happened. So I cannot claim what I can prove. But again, we went to the hospital the same night. She was good. We get like, she's good, okay? I mean, I remember leaving that night and I went to the restaurant and with a friend and I ordered a tea. And somebody even asked me, say, oh, you should take a champagne. Like, we just escaped. Like, I mean, I didn't take a champagne, but I agree with him because he should have celebrated that night. Like, then I was so scared. Finally, it's not that bad, you know. And going on the next days, you don't worry about it. What I was worried about, I'm like, okay, where is she living, with who, what's her job, like how can you assist her from a day-to-day comeback? Because yes, he wasn't worse, but she still had a knee fracture, a tibia fracture, which is gonna be like maybe 9 months or 1 year of rehab. So what can we do? What can I do to assist her and make her life happen during this process? And that's where I was planning like the rehab stuff, like how could this work for her? I have no idea that I will be dealing with the dead. No idea, like far from my mind, you know. You think about it, you say, oh, okay, we just get it.
he was in denial. Let's be real. He was in denial. That's what it was.
Find her a good physio, you know, assist her. She's definitely going to be on the wheelchair or something like that. She's going to need assistance for every day. And that's where I was at. And I'm like, okay, let's see how, and I tell my team, like, let's see how you can make that happen, because that's what is needed right now. We didn't know that we would be talking about, you know, a couple of days after that.
As you mentioned, it's around the year anniversary of your son's tragic passing. And so how are you doing? This is all just a few months ago. How are you dealing? And is this probably part of the reason why you're laying low?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very tough time. So, because all those things, everything that happened, you come to question yourself if you're cursed. What's going on? Why all those horrible things are happening to you? And then it's not even what happened. Like sometimes I have really liked to be guilty, to be like to have something that happened to me based on my action that I know that, oh, if I didn't do this, it wouldn't have happened. But the worst is when something happened and you say, okay, could I have done to avoid it? What did I did wrong? And you see nothing that you could have done differently to change the course of the situation. I think that's even more scary, like, okay, what could I have done right now to change the situation? What? Nothing. And then that's scary. That means it could happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It could happen at any moment again. And it freaks you out, man.
In my opinion, I think that's a really like simplistic way of viewing life. No, dude, no. I know, I get it about your son, and I'm not even gonna comment on that. I'm not even gonna dispute anything. His son is a completely different situation, but I know he's grouping it in with this thing. I feel like it's oversimplifying it. A lot of people go their whole life without trying to be careful with my wording here. They're not the same thing. What happened to your son is a freak accident. You had no control over that, and I guess you're calling this motorcycle accident a freak accident too. And you know what? I wasn't there, so I'm gonna let Francis just have his opinion, but I don't think that like any just snap of a finger, like you could. I get what he's saying, I do, but a lot of people go their whole lives
with your mind.
So that was in April. Here we are in August. Do you feel like you're starting to feel better, or you're still in that process of grieving?
Yeah, I mean, you process. Remember, like, doesn't matter. You process it. You improve. You try to keep your head high, look up into life. Listen, if I have overcome the loss of my son, I think I can. That's the moment that you understand that everything in life, doesn't matter how tough it is, a man is capable of a lot more. Yeah.
And as far as the family, are you okay with them? Is this story something that's still lingering in your life, or is that just it? It's a freak thing that happened, and now you have to try your best, both of you, to move on.
I don't understand. I didn't understand your question.
The family of the girl, the young girl who passed away. Is there any sort of lingering stuff between you two? Is there any sort of stuff that you have to deal with, ramifications, or because it was just a freak accident, now you just move on with your life and they try to move on with theirs?
No, I mean, I met them. We talked, and then I explained to them what's really happened. I say, okay, I don't know if you want to hear, because I know you're in the grief at this moment, but if you want to hear what's happened, I can talk about it, but I'm not here to give an explanation. I just want you to know the story, because like one thing that you have to understand is that when somebody is laying down with no life, never never be right. You're on the wrong side. So don't try to explain anything to anybody unless they ask you. And then, but they've been very comprehensive. And then we talk, and then we assist them on everything. And by the way, we're still in touch. They're still in touch. Not personally, but with my family.
Okay. I know this is all very, very tough. Tough stretch for you.
So he just got a little bit emotional there at the end. That's the Francis interview. And then I think we're gonna react to this Brian Battle clown show real quick, just because like the night can't be over with until Brian Battle gets his fucking due diligence.
I really like my celebration. When I get out there, I want to let the world.
And I already low-key went in on Brian Battle, but we're gonna have to do it again.
The organization down, so it really hurts. There's just gonna have to be some lifestyle changes, some stuff I didn't have to do that is just like it's what I have to do now because I'm not a young man anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, a fight that we were looking forward to did not happen. We had Brian Battle on the program. I think it was just a couple weeks ago now, and we were talking about his fight at 185 pounds against Nursultan Ruzibayev. And unfortunately, at the morning weigh-ins, we found out that he had come in over the 186-pound limit. That's Brian. And then shortly thereafter, we found out that the fight was canceled. So I wanted to speak to Brian about what happened and his side of the story and where he goes from here. The Butcher is kind enough to be on the program to clear the air on everything that transpired. Hey, Brian, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for having me and, giving me a chance to talk. It's a bummer, we couldn't be doing this under, celebrating, but regardless, I appreciate you for having me on the show.
For sure. So what happened? Why did you miss weight on Friday?
Man, I mean, several factors, you know what I'm saying? It's, but, I think, I'm getting older and my body just can't do the things that it used to do, you know what I'm saying? So, and fighting, like I didn't come in that much heavier than I did for the last fight. So, I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I thought it was going to be a walk in the park and, things just went south. And, when you're cutting weight and things go south, it's kind of, once things start going downhill, it's hard to recover from it. You know what I mean?
When did you start to realize that this was going to be a problem?
The morning of like early, like we got up at about 5 o'clock to finish doing the rest of the cut. And, I lost a pound in like the first 40 minutes, but, we spent like 5 hours, the next 4 hours, I think I was sweating the whole time, but I just wasn't sweating a lot. And I lost about another pound over the course of the next 4 hours of just like sitting in the sauna or jumping from the sauna to the hot bath, you know what I'm saying? Putting on the sauna suit and running around and everything like that. So, about the morning of.
Do you think, and the reason I ask you this question is because it's now back-to-back missing weight, obviously at 170 and now at 185, but do you think there's something wrong with your body?
Sorry for making you guys have to rewatch this, but I think it's important that I just go in on this guy.
I think it was against Nursultan at the 6 was canceled and where he goes transpired. Hey, Brian, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for having me and, giving me a chance to talk. It's a bummer, we couldn't be doing this under, celebrating, but regardless, I appreciate you for having me on the show.
For sure. So what happened? Why did you miss weight on Friday?
Man, I mean, several factors, you know what I'm saying? It's, but, I think, I'm getting older and my body just can't do the things that it used to do, you know what I'm saying? So, and fighting, like I didn't come in that much heavier than I did for the last fight. So, I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I thought it was going to be a walk in the park and, things just went south. And, when you're cutting weight and things go south, it's kind of, once things start going downhill, it's hard to recover from it. You know what I mean?
When did you start to realize that this was going to be a problem?
The morning of, like early, like we got up at about 5 o'clock to finish doing the rest of the cut. And, I lost a pound in like the first 40 minutes, but, we spent like 5 hours, the next 4 hours, I think I was sweating the whole time, but I just wasn't sweating a lot. And I lost about another pound over the course of the next 4 hours of just like sitting in the sauna or jumping from the sauna to the hot bath, you know what I'm saying? Putting on the sauna suit and running around and everything like that. So, yeah, about the morning of.
Now this just irks me because I feel like I'm a good judge of character, okay? And I look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him. He says that he's got his eyebrow. Shit. Somebody's gonna be watching right now who's got the little slit in their eyebrow, but that's fucking battle. I'm honestly speechless. I'm looking at this guy, speechless. And I have something to say, but it's just like, you found out the morning of, that's what you're going to claim, but you said it went downhill, bro. So everything was perfect until the morning of, but then I'd be hearing that you were talking about your flight delays and it going downhill. What does downhill mean? You cheated on your diet? What does downhill mean? If you stay locked in on your diet, what does downhill mean? That you stop sweating the day of? You missed by 3 pounds, bro. You did the same thing to Randy Brown. Honestly, bro, this is my opinion. I think you thought that you got away with it again. You're laughing to the bank. Ha ha, fuck this guy. Fuck Nursultan. I didn't make weight, but fuck him. I'm going to pay it. He's going to take the fight. Probably talking that shit, like, probably going to take that fight like a good boy. All this stuff. That's what I just sense off of this guy. I could be making some stuff up right now. I'll admit that. But I'm just saying that's what I sense off of this guy. That's the vibe. And I don't get that vibe just making it out of thin air. All that shit that he talked to Randy Brown because Randy was pissed he made weight. After he beat Randy by decision. Goes on Ariel's show and still rubs it in his face. So I think he's like, haha, I got away with it again. Like, I really think that. He's like, fuck it. And it just, and Nursultan rejected it. And he's sitting back like, damn, man, you're going to see it in a second. He wants to talk shit on Nursultan, but he can't.
Do you think, and the reason I ask you this question is because it's now back-to-back missing weight, obviously at 170 and now at 185, but do you think there's something wrong with your body, like that it's just not doing what you want it to do in these extreme circumstances?
No, I think I'm just getting older. You know what I'm saying? I just have to, I remember one time when I was, still an amateur, there was one time I had a fight. It was supposed to be at 205, and on short notice, I got switched to a 185-pound fight. And on Monday, I was 222 pounds, and by Friday, I was 186 pounds. And that, it's stuff like that kind of makes you, at least I think I took things for granted a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's on me. I'm extremely, the consequences are pretty steep. You know what I mean? Didn't just let the fans down. I let people who believed in me down. You know what I'm saying? I let the company down, the organization down. So, it really hurts. There's just gonna have to be some lifestyle changes, some stuff I didn't have to do that it's just like it's what I have to do now. Because, like I said, my body's getting. I'm not a young man anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta make the adjustments and move forward.
Why did the fight get canceled? Because
it's going to get brought up in a second here, but let's just address what Brian's talking about with lifestyle changes. This guy's drinking. And Randy Brown said it too. He said that he saw him on live getting tattooed, drinking, after their fight was already booked. So I just want you guys to know, and Ariel's going to ask him, and he's going to fucking admit to it. So anyone who just heard me say that and thinks that I'm fucking jumping to conclusions and all this shit. Just watch. In a second, he's going to fucking admit to it. But I'm just telling you, not only does he admit to it in this interview, but Randy Brown already called him out, being like, bro, you were drinking when we fucking had our fight. But after I signed that contract, I go on Instagram, I see you drinking. That's what Randy Brown said. This guy's fucking repeating his mistakes.
Obviously, like I said, you missed weight part of
Because he's not sorry.
the Brown fight, but that fight went through. You have to give up a percentage of your purse, all that. Ultimately, how did we get to it being canceled?
These are the facts.
Where is my camera at? I gotta put down my camera real quick. Hang on.
Well, it was funny how it happened because initially after the weigh-in, the agent, talking to the coach and everything, I believe Nursultan took it off the rip, and I went to go take a nap, saying hydrate a little bit, take a nap, get ready for the show weigh-in, the mock weigh-in, but I woke up and my coach came in, he said Nursultan didn't take the fight. I was just, it was. But I can't get mad at him. You know what I'm saying? That's on me. I had to take full responsibility for that, or else there's no way to adjust and grow and get better from it. So that's really all I'm thinking about right now, just adjusting, growing, and getting better, making sure that nothing like this ever happens again.
You saw him afterwards, right? I think I saw like a photo or two. What did you guys talk about?
I just went up and apologized to him. I went up and I told him, I said, hey, that's on me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry we couldn't fight. I hope we can run it back. I would love to run it back. You know what I'm saying? I would love to fight you. You know what I'm saying? And so they were saying maybe October in Abu Dhabi. I know that's close to where he stays. That's really out of my hands. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. We'll see if if I still have a job in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But just went up to him and apologized. You know what I'm saying? Man to man. You know what I'm saying? Just let him know that I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I know he worked really hard. I know he made weight. So I'm sorry I didn't hold up my end of the bargain.
Are you worried that they might release you as a result of this?
I've accepted that it is a possibility. You know what I'm saying? I've accepted that it is something that could happen and that is justifiable on their end. You know what I'm saying? Like the UFC has been nothing but good to me. You know what I'm saying? Like being in the UFC has changed my life. And hopefully they're gracious. You know what I'm saying? And they give me another chance. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I feel entitled to at this point.
So no indication to your manager, to your team, like, hey, like we're gonna stick with this guy. We want to still be. They haven't told you that.
I haven't talked to my agent yet. And so I'm going to call him a little bit after this and just like talk to him and see where things are at. You know what I mean? And so I'm just taking things one day at a time right now. You know what I mean? So.
Are you worried?
Yeah. It's stuff like that's out of my control. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm worried about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and regardless, no matter what happens, I know I'm still one of the best on the planet. So, I know I'll be back. So, so if I gotta go out and go whoop some ass and prove myself and show that I can still do it and I can still make weight and do all that stuff, then that's what I'll go do, and I'll come back and what I'm saying, fulfill my potential. But I'm in a place right now where I don't feel entitled to anything, and I don't feel what I'm saying, and I would understand, you know what I mean? And like I said, if they're kind of gracious, I'll be extremely thankful for that. But this is just like a time where it's just like I need to focus on the day to day.
I get it.
Get that worked out.
Maybe a bit of a crazy question, but
Thank you, Jew. Appreciate it. I was saying, Brian, he seems like he's asking for a release. It could just be me. Throw a comment in there. But it's like, there's been 3 times where he said something along the lines of like, you know, I know that if I leave the UFC, I'm still one of the best in the world. I know I'll be back. Something along the lines of like, I don't feel entitled to anything. I mean, very, very on the side of thinking he's going to get cut here. Or almost like telling them, like, it's okay if you cut me, like, I know I'll be back. I don't know. Softening the blow, but I feel like he's asking, like, he almost doesn't want to be a part of the promotion. Yeah, I mean, he's very nonchalant. I think he's almost, I don't know. The thought slipped my mind, honestly. I had a thought, though. We'll continue.
Do you feel like you have to move up to 205? Anthony Johnson once fought at 170 and moved, like, do you feel, you know?
Here's the thing. I think I could definitely fight people at 205. I would do well at 205. I don't think I need to go. Like, I can definitely still make middleweight. I can 10,000% make middleweight. Like I said, I never ran out of, like, I was, even though a lot of water wasn't coming out of me, water was still coming out of me, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So there's no doubt in my mind that I can make 185. You know what I mean? I could probably make 185 next week if I had to. You know what I'm saying? And just make a couple of tweaks and adjustments. You know what I'm saying? But you know, with that being said, is if I had to take a fight at 205, then I'll take a fight at 205. You know what I mean? Like that's what the bosses want.
Pull that camera away from your face, bro. It's too fucking close.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So I see from the sign behind you stayed in Chicago.
Yeah. No, I tried to get out earlier, but they couldn't change my flight. All the flights were sold out. So
oh man,
I was just kind of like, I just been kind of laying low. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to do too much.
You can sell this $5 spatula on Amazon and compete with hundreds of other spatula sellers.
But yeah, initially, like, you know, you have plans to, you know, do this and that after the fight, and then things go south, and you know, you just kind of stuck a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but heading home, excited to get back, see my family, figure out what's next from here.
When you talk about the changes, when you talk about things like that, does that mean like maybe no drinking and all that, like some real serious life changes?
No, yeah, no drinking is like at the top of the price, because it's just, once again, you know, I always stop drinking like weeks out to the fight, but like now it's just like one of those things. It's just like my body isn't reacting as quickly as I wanted to, and just as a principle in general, I feel like I need to punish myself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't deserve it. I haven't earned it. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, I won't be drinking. And we'll see. As far as everything else, you know what I'm saying? That was the thing. It wasn't like I was like doing anything crazy before the fight. Like I wasn't going. I have people that were with me here. Everything seemed good. Like I was super fucking sharp. You know what I'm saying? I was really ready to fight. Really ready to get after it. But you know, at the end of the day, I only got myself to blame for it. So I have to, you know, take accountability. You know what I'm saying? Reflect and, you know, make all the necessary adjustments that need to be made.
Are you getting a lot of shit online?
Yeah, you can say that.
How are you handling it?
Yeah. Man, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I can't talk shit back. You know what I'm saying? I really just want to make weight. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing you can do. You know what I'm saying? All you can do is keep on moving forward. And, you know, I'm just not sitting there dwelling on it. I'm not checking all the comments because I already know what they're all saying, you know. And, you know, I got people, and even with all the shit talking, there's still people who are reaching out and showing love. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, even on top of that, it's one of those things where, all right, well, you know, there's all these people talking shit. There's people still talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm a less than fortunate person. I'm going to keep on just building on it. You know what I'm saying? And next time we'll have good publicity. You know what I'm saying? You know, they say all publicity is good publicity. Well, we just want good publicity, period. You know what I'm saying? Go out there, whoop ass next time, get the W, make weight, and keep on moving forward with my career.
Appreciate you coming on, Brian. Anything else that you want to get off your chest or say to the people after, I would imagine, a tough weekend?
Anything you and your bleached hair and your shaved eyebrow want to say to the people? Anything you and your bleached hair and your fucking shaved eyebrow want to say to the people? Guy's fucking 30. All right, man. I think that's the stream, boys. That's the stream. Shout out to Brian Battle. You just gotta take it, bro. You just gotta take it from me and everyone else who's giving you shit. It's how it goes. It's how it goes. All right, boys. Solid stream. Thanks for everyone who watched and tuned in. 314 views we got. We got 13 people in here right now. Hey, can we get up to 10 likes before I end the stream? Is that possible? If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you enjoyed it. But let's see. Any chats, boys? Any chats? He should be begging. This is his career and his financial livelihood. That's exactly my point, bro. I mean, even if you, like, bro, you should be begging because, like, you know that there ain't no future in LFA. Like, get the shit right now. But he wants to almost, like, go to LFA and get his shit right and come back. Kind of a weird approach. Didn't shave today, boys, so you gotta bear with me, but I'll be shaved up tomorrow. Alright, peace out, boys. Peace out. Appreciate all of you. Hey, live stream tomorrow, Perry Punch Show, with my co-host, DJ MTK, at 4 p.m. PST. So if you guys are tapped into this, tap in tomorrow, 4 p.m. PST. We got the Perry Punch Show. I think episode like 43 or some shit.